Okay, and we're back. So what I did was sharpened, I left this side at the 400 grit level, went under the microscope, took some pictures, and then I finished sharpening the bottom side here on the 1200. Went and took some pictures under the microscope. So I'm going to show you there, or right now, what those images look like. We're going to continue sharpening this side here to the 1200. So I'm locking my wrist. I like to stay right-handed. You could sharpen this lefty as well, but I stay right-handed. And then I like to go point first. And right now I'm just working the point toward the belly for about a dozen strokes. Now I'll do the belly for about a dozen strokes. And then I'm going to reposition my body so I can come and this entire time my wrist has not adjusted at all. It stayed at the same angle. That's what allows me to keep the angle consistent, or as consistent as possible. For the blade. All right. So that's it. We're done with the 1200. I definitely feel a burr as well. All the way through. One of the most common mistakes that I had when I was starting out sharpening was that I would sharpen, say, you know, a dozen goes, or maybe 15, 20 goes on a stone, and then progress to the next stone. And I wouldn't have that burr. Maybe my angle was too shallow and I never reached the apex. I never got to the very end of the bevel. So I wasn't creating a burr. And so basically I had really polished shoulders. Once I would go up to, say, a Sharpening 16,000 grit, I'd have really polished shoulders, but the knife couldn't cut for crap. So you got to get to the burr. And then one thing I like to do once I get up into the higher grit stones is run it back and forth, and then switch it over. So I just finished going like this with the knife, with the blade, and so now I'm gonna take this and do one stripe or one swipe like that, and then I'm gonna come back . and do one swipe like that. And then I'm going to come back, alternate, and I'm just kind of working that burr back and forth so that the burr isn't so big. That helps get rid of some of the burr, but the real way to get rid of the burr is coming up in future videos, but the answer is to use a strop. So thanks for checking this out again. We're going to continue on this journey with this knife here. Our next step would be maybe a 2000 or a 2000 grit or 3000 grit stone, if you wanted to go further. This knife can get plenty sharp off of a 1200 grit stone. Perfect for anything that this knife was designed for. It's sharp now, but it's not at its full potential until we get to the strop. So that'll be a future video. So thanks so much. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and please leave a comment on anything you like or didn't like about this video. Dan for all out.